How do we see and value success? For one person, it's a van full of kids and a beautiful home. For another, it's a career in lights. Ready to go learn how to live healthier, wealthier and wiser as an artist in showbiz? Hey, I'm Lara Bianca Pilcher. I'm crazy about helping artists to live out their creative dreams and nurture themselves at the foundation of their creative career. I'm an artist and actor and showbiz educator with over 20 years in the arts and entertainment industry in London, Australia and now Atlanta, USA. I'm here to show you how to navigate this topsy-turvy world called showbiz, uncover the secrets of success, unlocking the powerful artist you are. I've done a lot, performed, worked in TV, film, radio, stage, produced, directed, choreographed, acting, singing, voice work, musical theatre, dance company, toured, moved, casting, auditioned, self-tape, teaching, press, critics, branding, marketing, side hustles, and all the hoo-ha, while maintaining a happy marriage with 2 gorgeous kids. And there will only be real talk here, friends. Think of this podcast as a masterclass in helping you build your creative career, while also learning how to holistically navigate the artist's life. This is the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Artist Podcast. This episode comes with a warning. It is a sensitive topic for many creatives, but I'm going to ask you the question, is your life on hold due to your dreams? And there's seasons where it needs to be. I was sat in the front row recently. I had this great VIP experience at Cirque du Soleil in Atlanta. And I sat there. I was probably the only person that did this, but the show opens and I begin to just tear up with emotion. And I was crying quietly to myself, not a meltdown, because I looked at these performers and I thought, my goodness, they have trained probably their whole life and dedicated their life in this season that they're in, putting a lot of other things for many of them, not all of them. I knew one performer who was married, but, touring with his wife and child, which came at a cost to them with Cirque du Soleil. So there are people that, their life's not on hold, but in a way it is, because you're touring and you're not really in your own home or whatever it is that you want to be doing in your hometown, but you do this incredible thing in life where sometimes the hold is great. But it's when we're kind of waiting for those opportunities and not doing anything, sort of stagnating with the things that we really want in the hope that we might be able to achieve something. That's what I want to talk about a little bit today. But back to my story, I teared up because I realized that as performers, we spend so much time training to give people a moment of transformative, incredible pleasure where we just sit and watch and have an experience. And that's what I was feeling. I feel for you guys that's what we do as performers. So I'm going to talk about the question, is your life on hold due to your dreams? Or at least, are your performing dreams and goals distracting you from living now? Are you putting any aspect of your life on hold? And I think it's great to have big dreams and to be pursuing them, but are they distracting you from living in the meantime? I have what many would consider the dream life. 2 beautiful children, a boy and a girl. I have a husband who is devoted to me, leading in his field and handsome. And we've traveled all around the world. And I've got to be the artist that I am. And achieved so much. Both of us, my husband and I. And we have so many wild adventures in different cultures and had many invitations to speak, teach and attend conferences and events. I just want to share with you vulnerably that there was a time when my performing career goals distracted me every single moment of every single day, even in this life. So I'm coming from a place of knowing something that I think many others go through too. I would have this buzzing thought in the back of my head, when I'm home with the kids, beautiful children that are a gift to have. But I'd have this buzzing thought that I need to be working on my career as a performer right now, and anything else is just getting in the way, and it made me a little bit resentful and not the best mum. Many would say that that's just being driven. Acting and the performing arts do take laser focus, after all. But was I putting enjoying my family on hold due to my career dreams? There was a long season when I did not have a husband or 2 children, and I could just focus on my art. And it is a huge adjustment to learn to juggle the changes that life brings, the different seasons. However, if I had to choose at a fork in the road, if I want a performing career or a family, I would choose family. Because in the end, when we are old, and I know this because it's researched, if you look at what people say when they're older that they want or did wish they had done with their life, I know that I'm not going to wish for another performing role. I will wish to not be alone. Loneliness is a killer. The issue for many in the performing arts is putting our lives on hold while we chase making it. I've got so many friends who I've seen do this, like a singer friend I know kept pushing to make it in her career, and now at 45 years old, she's on IVF for a baby. I have another actor friend who didn't want to buy a home because she was touring for a year, and the market just got more and more expensive and she got outpriced. Another dancer friend I know has put off starting a family for her dance career, and it's taken so much of her focus that her marriage is now suffering. I also put off having children myself for a long time for my career, but when I did decide it was time to have a child, it was because I truly believed that there is no perfect time to start a family for a performer. It's a struggle. It really does change your freedom. In London, I would still attend auditions, but as a mother, I could not get to one class a week and was competing against younger dancers doing 3 classes a day. And if you've just met me, I am a singer, dancer, actress. I've trained in many genres and performance. And at that point, when I was going for West End life, I was in dance training a lot or singing lessons a lot or going to the Actors Centre and doing class. And I struggled after having children to compete. I'd go to an audition and there's dancers that are, in a different season and just at the studio every day. And, that's a huge change. We need to do the emotional work to change when our seasons change and find our worthiness in each new season. I know artists that have moved, they've lived in a big city for a long time like New York and then had a family. I'm talking a lot about family, but put this into the perspective and context of whatever it is that you might be putting on hold or stagnating around, including a relationship. But when they moved, out of New York, it took a long time. They felt shame around not being in an arts hub anymore, and it's struggled as an artist to feel worthy not living there. And I think that these things are very normal, but yet we don't talk about them a lot. And the bigger question is, why as performers do we put our lives on hold for our careers? Now, I know some of the answers to that. Go back to the first story, Cirque du Soleil. This kind of level of art, that skill level takes so much training and so much strength. And then when you're in it, it's an amazing opportunity. So yes, it's great. Put your life on hold for a while outside of it because this is your dream. This is your life right now. And obviously I'm not talking about that. But when we do put our life on hold for the wrong reasons, it's often about our values and where we get our worth. It takes a certain kind of artist to move to an arts hub and say, I want to be a performer professionally. It takes so much effort and energy to train and audition. And when that season changes or ends, it's easy to feel worthless, but in reality, it's just a matter of perspective. When you're around artists all the time, it sort of feeds that ego-driven, have you made it? Or where are you at? What's your next job? But when you get out of that arts, world, nobody's thinking like that. And when your perspective changes a little bit, you go, oh, hold on. That was feeding. I call it feeding the beast. How do we see and value success? For one person, it's a van full of kids and a beautiful home. For another, it's a career in lights. And some people like me want it all. The statement, how do we see and value success, is the key. When you realize that not everyone sees life as you do, you can take a step back and ask yourself, what am I really wanting? How do I want to feel each day? In life, we're actually pursuing a feeling more than a goal. We want to make it in our careers to feel successful and worthy. This makes us feel happy. Happiness is what we actually want. How we achieve that happiness is by changing how we think about success. I have learned that who I am surrounded with affects how I view success. Like I said, we feed off those around us. Sometimes a little time away is helpful in helping us reflect. take a step back and ask yourself, what am I putting on hold for my career and why? It might be good reasons. It might not be. But take the time to reflect, journal, think. Is your life on hold due to your dreams? If you want to hear more about this and work out what your values are, head to larabiancapilcher.com and grab my freebie Artist Values Workbook. It might help you to reflect on some of what I talked about today. And also, you might want to do a coaching call with me, so feel free to email about that through my website. Head to social media, larabiancapilcher, and just tell me what your thoughts are on today's episode. I always respond to you guys. DM me. I would love to hear from you. And like always, with you on the journey, friend. Phew, today's masterclass is done. I love reaching back and saying, I've done this, and helping you learn the easy way. If you want more, head to larabiancapilcher.com for show notes, links, freebies, my blog, coaching and courses, and you can also head to my socials, Lara Bianca Pilcher on Instagram and Facebook. I'm also on Twitter and Pinterest. Thanks again for listening. Please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. That would mean the world to me, and I will give you a shout out. And of course, keep on living the healthy, wealthy, wise artist living towards your dream life. Bye, friends. Hey, on my Facebook, there is a Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Artist group made up of a tribe of artists seeking to live the healthy, wealthy, wise artist life. They ask each other questions and throw around ideas. You can join the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Artist Community private Facebook group at Lara Bianca Pilcher on Facebook under groups. P.S. Shout out to my hottie hubby, Andrew Pilcher, who does all the editing on this podcast.